Hey guys, this is Ian Paul, and I'm going to be covering my first, well, we'll call it a little range of topics about substances, sounds like a drug talk, surfaces and flooring, and other areas of the lab that can be finished in ways that will improve safety very effectively. I'm going to be offering a pretty wide range of advice and insights into low-cost options, high-cost options, overrated reasons for high-cost options that can be made into low-cost options. And I'm hoping to make this pretty extensive. My goal is that the hobby chemists who, can't spend 10 grand on everything because it's a ridiculously hyperinflated lab market, can benefit just as much as the guys who, their parents are helping them build a lab and they're 16 and they're awesomely thrilled about chemistry and know twice as much as I do for sure. Because everybody should be able to be safe and practice chemistry, which is something I really have developed a passion for. So that's kind of where we're going to be going. In order to do that well, I'm going to just be using my iPhone tonight. I apologize. And I'm going to flip you back and forth on the camera and we'll cover some stuff. I'm just going to start because I'm doing it right after this video. So with basically where I got to with flooring. And I think it's a topic maybe some people don't even think about, but a lot of us probably have struggled with. And that is, what the heck do I use that's safe without basically redoing my house or costing a fortune? And I want to kind of list off some options that are normal. And I'm going to really sort of emphasize which of some of them I would pick over others. So assuming you're trying to actually let's say cover a pretty good square footage of your lab, not just like your wet side, in which case, hey, maybe mats are for you. And there's a whole thing on that we can cover here too. I think a lot of the typical choices, now there are some other more impressive ones that I like, but tend to lean towards cheap-wise linoleum and vinyl. And I'm going to say now, as an engineer between the two, just knowing other places linoleum has been a bad idea, go with vinyl. Now, you're going to see a lot of offers for vinyl, and you're going to see a lot of options. And I don't know how much this applies out of states, but I know that it will most likely apply even if it's at different stores. So one of my first pieces of advice is if you're looking to cover an entire lab and you don't want a permanent surface, so you'd like something like a floating floor that you can take off, which is a totally reasonable option. Maybe mom doesn't want you to mess up her floors, but she also doesn't want to redo her floors. Maybe you just, really can't do that for whatever reason. Your significant other is like, heck no, you crazy man or crazy person. In that case, vinyl. Now, there's a trick to vinyl, and the trick is this. If you go to a big box store, like say, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, Hardware, or Stateside and other places, brands that I can think of off the top of my head, but anywhere where you can find a lot of different things for a lot of different prices, for a lot of different options and different projects is a bad idea. I'm going to use Home Depot as an example because they're often listed just a tiny bit above Lowe's for flooring. So if you go to Home Depot, you're going to find the occasional $199 square foot brand. What you will also find is that they refuse to price match based on their online store. So if you look something up, you're not going to get the right rates. And if you want to wait 2 weeks for it, you might be able to price lock something. But what they're offering you at that cost is insanely stupid. And the reason I say that is this. We're going to start with an easy example, which is Home Depot's really flagship brand. They're made through a third party. I'm not going to try and remember their name right now. But essentially, it's all Home Depot's brand. It's their thing. It's their product. And they're going to tell you it's the best option, and it's cheap, and it's magic. And that is Life-Proof luxury vinyl. Now, I will say from the start that in terms of ease, if you're not looking for a tile specific surface look, and even if you are, because you can find them, trust me, luxury vinyl is the way to go. The thing is, the Home Depot brand of luxury vinyl, first of all, has a very bad rating if you start reading people's reviews. But second of all, from a chemical standpoint, we're gonna look at something pretty simple, which is how thick is the vinyl? I mean, it's interlocked like pretty much the same way with those plank lock systems. But the answer at Home Depot is about 6 millimeters. And they're gonna charge you $3.30 at the moment a square foot and tell you it is cheap and the best option. Now, both are untrue. And I love a cheap thing, but if it's not cheap and it's not the best option, it's a hard no. Stay away from big box stores. That's the best you're gonna find there, and it's not good. And I'll tell you why now, because somebody out there is thinking about this. And the great thing about luxury vinyl is because it's a planking system, you wanna cover a 10 square foot area, great. You wanna cover 5, great. What I like about it in particular, and the reason I actually advocate for it over sheet, linoleum or vinyl, or any other sheet material for that matter, even if it's cheap, is let's say I spill something in my lab, and I mean, okay, hypothetically I do catch it, because that's the ideal, but it still corrodes, I don't know, a tile or something like that. If you screw up a tile in a plank floor, you replace the tile. So when you buy this stuff for whatever area you're about to do, I mean, even if it's small, add on about a 15% estimation to size if you can afford it. And that way, you ruin in one tile, you replace the tile, the floor is fine, the subfloor, whatever else is underneath it is fine, your structure is fine. And this does matter. I mean, I notice a lot of people not taking that much of a precaution towards this. From a structural standpoint, it's not just groundwater, which is the obvious answer. The reason that protecting your subfloors, and especially if you're on a second floor, but even if you're on a basement floor, because you have to realize you're being held up by pylons and then that's going down, the reason that protection matters is really that even little things can cause structural damage. I've learned from personal experience the really negative repercussions of someone polluting your groundwater. We had a site that we had purchased that was owned previously by cleaners, and I cannot tell you, I mean, we're talking millions of dollars to clean up because they were dumping stuff. But I don't think a lot of people realize even relatively mundane things can cause structural problems. I'm not gonna cite any specific examples, because really like it's more the concept of safety here that I'm trying to get at. But I just want to say and emphasize, get vinyl if you're going cheap, and get plank. And what I would argue to do is go to somewhere like Carpet Works. Find yourself a flooring manufacturing company that works with contractors. I did a lot of research on this, which began with harassing a bunch of contractors, most of whom were not that happy to deal with me when they found out that I didn't want to pay them to put in floors. But a couple of them were nice, and every one of the nice ones basically immediately said, hey, do not use Home Depot, go check out Carpet Works. I don't know what that equivalent is in your area, but look at a flooring supplier. There's gonna be a bunch. The moment I walked into Carpet Works, I found tile and wood planks of this vinyl surface look that I was looking for. The lady there priced me at $2 a square foot. So think, when you're thinking square footage, of ratio, $2 versus $3.30 is a big difference. And the product she was offering, the plank vinyl, was 20 millimeters thick. Now 20 versus 6 makes a big difference when something has to deal with impact. And Home Depot loves to claim that their low millimeter luxury vinyl is better engineered and somehow better impact resistant by being lightweight. It's not true. And anybody who does the kind of stuff that somewhere like Carpet Works does with flooring is going to laugh at that. So really, first lesson here, and then we'll try and move on, is luxury vinyl, if cheap, go to a supplier, get it direct. They also most likely have a warehouse close by, which means you can pick it up same day at whatever the price they quote you is. So we're gonna start with that. And since we're on flooring, I'm gonna end this part here, and I'm gonna try and kind of make this a part series so this doesn't drag on. In summary, my top pick for overall price for flooring that doesn't change your current floor and can be put on top at whatever distance or in whatever dimensions you'd like, beyond matting, like for a real floor, is luxury vinyl. The next video, I'm gonna try and do a little bit more. I got a little rambly in this. Keep in mind, I'm not used to video discussions. But next I'm gonna cover some things you should do basically when you're planning to build a lab, or even if you're planning to modify one. And I'm probably gonna put that video first because I think it should have been first. So if you're hearing this after watching that, laugh in my face. And I'll see you next time, or maybe I won't. I don't know what my voice sounds like.